If you are receiving Social Security Disability Insurance benefits, commonly known as SSDI, this is an update you will want to pay attention to. There has been a lot of discussion recently about a potential fourth stimulus payment, often referenced at around $2,000, and there has been a lot of confusion about whether SSDI beneficiaries will be included. Many people have expressed concerns that they might be left out simply because they do not file a tax return, do not have earned income, or are not currently working. This is understandable, especially given that past announcements about stimulus payments have not always been clear about how different groups would be treated. Let me be clear, if a fourth stimulus payment does occur, SSDI recipients are not going to be forgotten or excluded. While we do not have confirmation that this payment is guaranteed, if it does happen, the federal government will consider all eligible recipients, and income is the main factor used to determine eligibility. Other factors that many people assume might be relevant, such as age, disability status, employment status, or whether someone files a tax return, are not the primary criteria. It is only the level of income that matters. To understand this fully, it is important to know how the government verifies income. Every year, Social Security provides the Internal Revenue Service with a complete record of the benefits that you receive. If you are living in the United States, you receive an SSA 1099 form showing exactly how much money you were paid in SSDI benefits. If you live outside the United States, you may receive an SSA 1042-S form, which serves the same purpose. The IRS already has this information, and it will be used to determine whether you fall below the income threshold set for stimulus payments. This means that even if you do not file a tax return, the government knows exactly how much money you are receiving from Social Security. It is important to note that this is general information and not specific tax or legal advice. Everyone's individual circumstances can differ, so it is always recommended to consult with a certified accountant, financial advisor, or tax professional for guidance about your particular situation. However, in general, SSDI beneficiaries should expect that income is the only factor that will be considered for eligibility for a fourth stimulus payment. Looking back at previous stimulus payments can help clarify this. During the distributions in 2020 and 2021, the number one factor determining whether someone received a payment was income. That is it. If your income fell below the set thresholds, you qualified for a payment. Approximately 85% of the population received payments during those rounds because their income was within the qualifying limits. Other factors, such as whether a person was working or not, whether they filed taxes, or whether they had a disability, were not relevant for determining eligibility. Based on recent statements from government officials, it is expected that the income threshold for a fourth stimulus payment may be similar to previous rounds. While nothing is set in stone yet, indications from the Treasury Secretary suggest that individual eligibility could be capped around $75,000 per year, and for married couples, around $150,000 per year. These figures are subject to change, but the general principle is that SSDI recipients, whose income is typically far below these thresholds, would be automatically eligible if a payment is authorized. For context, SSDI benefits are specifically designed to provide financial support to individuals who are unable to work due to a qualifying disability. The program is structured so that income is limited to a level well below the general threshold set for stimulus payments. If someone earns more than the allowed amount, they would likely lose their SSDI benefits and could receive an overpayment notice. This means that, by default, SSDI recipients are already well positioned to qualify for any stimulus payment that uses income as the sole eligibility factor. Some people may have concerns about other potential eligibility factors, such as owing back taxes or child support. In these cases, payments can be intercepted to cover outstanding liabilities. For example, if a recipient owes back child support, the government may apply the payment to satisfy that debt rather than issuing it directly to the recipient. Similarly, if there is a federal tax liability, the payment could be used to offset what is owed. These situations affect a very small percentage of recipients, and most SSDI beneficiaries will not experience this. It is important to remember that the payment, if authorized, could come in different forms, such as a direct rebate, economic impact payment, dividend, or stimulus distribution. The name does not affect who receives it or the eligibility criteria. What matters is that the government uses the information it already has about your income to determine whether you qualify. The details of how and when the payment is distributed will depend on legislation and administrative processes that are still being finalized. Many SSDI recipients have expressed concerns about being left out because they do not file taxes or have earned income. These concerns are understandable, but they are largely unfounded. The government already has a complete record of your SSDI income, which is sufficient to determine eligibility. You do not need to take additional steps or submit new forms simply to prove your income. If a payment is authorized, eligible recipients will be included automatically based on the information Social Security already reports. While it can be frustrating to wait for official announcements, it is important to remain patient. Government processes take time, and new information will continue to be released as it becomes available. Updates from officials, including the President, Treasury Secretary, and economic advisors, will provide clarity about eligibility criteria, distribution methods, and timing. Until then, SSDI recipients can take comfort in knowing that income is the primary factor for eligibility and that they are likely to qualify if a payment is approved. In summary, if a fourth stimulus payment of around $2,000 is authorized, SSDI recipients should not worry about being excluded. The only requirement that matters is that your income falls below the set threshold, which for most SSDI beneficiaries it does. Other factors such as working status, tax filings, or disability classification are not considered in determining eligibility. Government records already include your income information, which ensures that the process is straightforward and inclusive. It is natural to feel concerned about missing out, especially for those living on fixed incomes or relying on SSDI benefits. However, the historical approach to stimulus payments and the structure of SSDI indicate that recipients are automatically included if they meet the income requirement, even if there are minor adjustments such as offsetting outstanding debts or tax liabilities. The vast majority of recipients will receive the full payment if they qualify. While waiting for official confirmation, SSDI beneficiaries can monitor reliable sources for updates. Government announcements, press briefings, and official statements from the Treasury or Social Security Administration will provide the latest information. In the meantime, focus on understanding your income level and how it compares to expected thresholds, as this is the key determinant for eligibility. For those new to receiving SSDI or those who have questions about the process, it may help to review your SSA 1099 or SSA 1042S form. These documents outline the exact amount of income you received from Social Security during the previous year. Keeping these records handy can be useful for reference and provides a clear understanding of your eligibility for any government programs tied to income. In conclusion, while the details of a fourth stimulus payment are still being finalized, SSDI recipients can be reassured that their benefits and low-income status make them eligible for consideration. Income is the only factor that matters for determining eligibility, and the government already has this information. Other concerns such as employment status, tax filings, or disability classification are not relevant. As we await further details, continue to monitor official announcements for updates. The process may take time and patience is required, but SSDI recipients are in a strong position to receive any payments authorized under upcoming legislation. It is understandable to want financial support immediately, but these processes follow a standard procedure and are designed to be inclusive. Finally, for anyone receiving SSDI or similar Social Security benefits, the key takeaway is simple. Check your income against the expected thresholds and remain informed about official announcements. That is all that is required to understand your potential eligibility. No additional action is necessary to prove your status or request a payment. The government has the information it needs to ensure you are included automatically. This is a time of uncertainty for many, but understanding the eligibility criteria can help reduce worry and provide clarity. SSDI recipients can be confident that if a fourth stimulus payment is authorized, they will likely receive it. Monitoring updates, reviewing your SSA income statements, and staying informed about official announcements will ensure you are prepared and aware of any developments as they occur. Eligibility for government support programs can seem complicated, but the most important factor for SSDI recipients is their income. By keeping this in mind, recipients can focus on what matters most and avoid unnecessary concerns about other factors that do not affect eligibility. Patience is required, but being informed ensures that you are ready when new information becomes available. In summary, SSDI recipients do not need to worry about being left out of a potential fourth stimulus payment. Income is the key factor for eligibility, and Social Security already provides the IRS with the information needed to determine this. Other factors, such as employment, tax filings, or disability status, do not influence eligibility. As further details are released, recipients will be included automatically if they meet the income requirements. Stay informed, review your SSA income records, and monitor official updates. If a payment is authorized, the process is designed to include eligible SSDI recipients without requiring additional action. Understanding the focus on income and remaining patient while awaiting official announcements will help reduce stress and ensure preparedness for any government action regarding a fourth stimulus payment.